Exciting times here. The R&D team at Jolly Spud have been very busy, and now we have some pretty exciting technology. We have the ability to clone spuds, and we have the ability to send that spud back in time. And what we are watching now is the footage from one of my clones. I only know three things. The first is that they are in Arles, and the date on the time machine was set to September 1888. The second is my clone has managed to get an iPad in front of Vincent and has asked him to recreate an oil painting he has just finished. And finally, soup is on the menu. So Spud 1 has gone straight in there and he is getting the veg ready. So the veg is going to get roasted in the oven, but we're also going to be making a broth as well. So, you know, usually in the past, before I found out this pretty good hack, I would be throwing all those peels away. But yeah, garlic, onion, carrots, celery, and all the peels make for an excellent broth base. So we're getting everything chucked in there. So all the bits that we're not going to eat, we're going to get chucked into our big pot there, along with a bit of flavourings, some spices. So Vincent moved to Arles to chase some different light, different to Paris that is, in the hope of changing his art, and it worked out pretty well. In 15 months he produced nearly 200 canvases, painting every 2 days. Imagine that. And now my clone has been working with him, and he's been working on an iPad, so that's pretty fun, isn't it? Okay, we are getting cold water from the tap. Oh, and the lid's straight on there. So what we're going to be doing is, to make the broth stay nice and clear, we're going to be heating the water up slowly. So from cold water, heating it up slowly. Whoops, oh god. Spud 1 really is racing through this. So we are now, getting the veg diced up. So reasonably small, but not too small. And this is so it won't take too long to roast, but it will cook through, but still stay a bit crunchy. So yeah, a bit of aubergine as well. So we've got, what have we got? We've got carrots, we've got celery, we've got peppers, I think a bit of onion, aubergine, and of course we have some courgette. So I've gone for slightly bigger pieces of courgette, just because they don't take as long to cook, but we want to cook everything at the same time, just to make it nice and easy. So my clone, Spud 1, has been talking with Vincent, and not only did he provide the recipe, he was telling him life in Arles is very different to Paris. Less cafes and wine, more sun and amazing colour, and that we should be able to see in the digital painting he is working on. Then some beans are going in, so beans are nice, cheap protein, and yeah, taste great once they have been roasted. Then we've just got some herbs to Provence, which has come from Arles itself. Then a bit of salt, a bit of pepper, and then some olive oil. So we're going to be mixing that up, getting that all mixed up before it goes into our preheated oven. So the oven was preheated to 180 degrees, fan assisted of course. Oh, so much rustling. Good job, Spud 1. Vincent kept going on about how little money he had, which is why the soup only contains basic ingredients, and you should be able to find all of these ingredients in your local village market or the supermarket if you are watching this footage in the present day. So 40 minutes to get that broth up and running. We have now got the veg in the oven ready for roasting. Yeah, it's not going to be roasting for too long. And what are we making now? What is Spud 1 making now? Well, he got this from Vincent, so this is the nice little cheeky twist to put on the top and add some bonus depth of flavour there. So it is going to be some olives, black olives, and some red onion. Again, the peels can go in there to add to the flavour of the broth. Okay, so they're just going in that little bowl, ready for later, along with a bit of balsamic vinegar. So we're gonna be slightly pickling the red onion just to soften it up, and then a bit of pepper there, mixed peppercorns, just so we're getting some nice lovely flavours. Of course, a dash of salt. You've got to be seasoning everything as you go. Alright, that broth is looking amazing. And while the soup is bubbling away, let's talk about one of the paintings he made during this time, the Yellow House. This wasn't just where he lived. For Vincent, it was his dream, an artist colony, a place where painters could work together. The veg has been in the oven for 15-16 minutes and is looking great. We'll just pop it back in there. And now on to sorting out the stocky broth. So sieving it, because we've got all the flavour from the peels there. We don't really want them in the soup. They've done their heavy lifting. And here is the luxury ingredient for the recipe. It is a bit of saffron. So honestly, you only need a little bit, as we've seen there, just a couple of strands. And this is just going to really add a slight little subtle flavour, which is really going to be great. But we're also going to, just make the colour of that broth even more intense. Okay, a bit of a taste, and I think what Spud was telling me is that it was slightly bitter, which is, not too much of a shock if you think about it. I definitely like carrot peels are really bitter whenever I've eaten them. So it is slightly bitter, but what we can do is, we can add a bit of salt and just a bit of sugar just to make that start tasting incredible. Sadly, and Vincent doesn't know this yet, and Spud was under strict instructions to not tell him before he went into the time machine, it didn't quite work out for Vincent. Only one artist turned up, his friend at the time, Gauguin, and that friendship didn't last. And it was the breakdown of that friendship that led to Vincent cutting off part of his ear and ending up in an asylum. But that's another story for another time. And if you want to get updates on when more videos will get made, then please do like and subscribe. But the painting itself still feels full of hope. Bright yellows, clear provincial skies. It really is an amazing painting, and if you are ever in Amsterdam, then you have to check it out. And that's the flavour I think Spud wanted this soup to have. Nothing fancy, nothing expensive, just alive with colour and hope. And he didn't explain how a soup could taste of hope, but if you want to find out, then you'll have to make it for yourself. Okay, so after about 20 minutes now, our vegetables are fully roasted and looking great. So vegetables first, roasted vegetables first. So nice and colourful, just like one of Vincent's paintings. And then you're just going to carefully spoon the broth over. So it's not a smooth soup, it's like a nice lumpy soup, but in the best possible way. Doesn't that look great? Then carefully adding our toppings, and then let's really just take the whole thing to a next level. Ooh la la. Get in my belly. Yum. Lovely stuff.